they never heard about before.
Sure.
Does anyone here want to see something they've never seen before? Well, here's the right place. So, our company is called Breathe Easy, and as you can see, it says salt of the earth. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk simply about salt. Everyone knows what salt is, right? You know, you're very health conscious, so you probably already know salt has a lot of medicinal properties. We've been wrapping up food in salt for the millennia to keep bacteria away from our food, to preserve our food. So you probably know that salt is antibacterial. Salt kills bacteria. Many of you know that people have been going to the Dead Sea for 1,000 years. And they go and they put Dead Sea salt all over their bodies, head to toe. They bake in the sun, and they wait for the salt to dry. Well, what's happening there is salt's a drying agent. It pulls toxins out of your skin. It makes you look healthier in your skin. It makes you look younger. Okay? And so people can relate to that. Does anyone here go to the beach ever?
Yes, all the time.
So you probably experience, you go to the beach, you put your chair down, you sit down, and almost immediately you can breathe easier and you're relaxed. Now why is that? It's because of the salt in the air. The salt has medicinal properties. It's not only antibacterial, it's anti-inflammatory. When the salt air gets into your sinuses, it opens up your airways so you can breathe easier. And that's a great benefit. And salt also emits negative ions. Some people might have been in a negative ion environment and know that it relaxes you. Why does it relax you? Because every day we're surrounded by electricity. Every electrical device that we're surrounded with, from the phone to everything, emits positive ions. So we're all a little bit positively charged and a little bit stressed as a result of it. But when you're in a beach environment or a waterfall that gives off negative ions, they're able to balance it out and you're able to relax. And so those are some more benefits of salt. Salt gives off negative ions to balance your body. Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and antifungal. The slides that you're seeing are part of our press kit. I'm not going to talk to the slides. You can glance at them if you want. We're happy to give people copies of it. I'm trying to be brief here today. So what am I going to show you that you've never seen before? Has anyone seen a salt room?
Salt room?
A salt room.
Room? No.
No one sees. Dry salt therapy is what this is called. We imported this therapy from Europe, where it's been popular not only for decades, but for centuries. For hundreds of years, monks have been taking people down deep into the salt mines for health vacations and medicinal benefits. In the mid-1850s, there was a Polish health official who was assigned to the mining sector in Poland. He traveled all around Poland and worked with the miners to offer them health care. Well, during his travels, what he noticed was that the salt miners had no respiratory illnesses, never got a cold or flu, lived a long, healthy lives into their 90s, and this was in the 1850s. He traveled around and saw other miners, coal miners, especially other miners, have black lung, get sick, die in their 40s, and he's wondering, why would the salt miners live such long, healthy lives, and all these other miners are sick all the time? So he did a little research. Basically, the bottom line of the research was that the salt miners, every day in their working environment, were breathing in dry salt into their respiratory system. And as a result of what happens is when they breathe the salt into their respiratory system, the salt would kill the bacteria, the salt would kill the mold spores, dry out the mucus, and as a result they were breathing easier, their body was more relaxed, and a relaxed body, I don't have to tell anyone here, is a body that can heal easier. And as a result, that doctor in the 1850s started the first respiratory hospital and wellness center in a salt mine. And, well, here's just a little brochure from it. My wife and I went this summer. This is called the Wieleka salt mine in southern Poland, right outside of Krakow. And in it are pictures of children going there for the respiratory hospital, adults doing yoga. Pull the pictures out at once. I'm not okay with the presentation, but you get the idea. So for hundreds of years and for decades, Europeans have been traveling all over Europe to go to this Wieleka salt mine and take a health week vacation. Fast forward, 20 years ago, scientists trying to recreate the microclimate of a salt cave so that people can benefit instead of traveling miles and miles, because it's very expensive, as you can imagine, to go to the salt mines in Poland from all over Europe. Well, in Eastern Europe, which the geography happened to be the bed of an ancient sea is where all the salt has been gathered. And the earliest civilizations on our planet revolved around water and salt. Salt to preserve the food, and water obviously to drink. So salt, and as Dr. Vistola mentioned this morning, is an essential ingredient into our bodies. The saline composition of our bodies matches exactly the saline composition of the ocean. So is that a surprise? We all emanated from the ocean. We brought saline with our bodies all these years. So we need salt. Now, 20 years ago, as I mentioned, scientists in Eastern Europe and Russia trying to devise and mimic the microclimate of salt cave, invented a machine called a halo generator. Halo in Greek means salt. And a halo generator, what it does, I keep flying by to show this all at some point. What a halo generator does is we take pure NaCl, pure salt, goes into the top of the machine, goes into a grinding area where they grind into micron-sized particles of salt and then gets dispersed into the room where you don't see the salt. You simply just lie in a lounge chair, relax, do nothing, breathe, and at the end of 45 minutes, you're healthier. There's not many things that you can do nothing at and get healthier at the same time, but this is one of them. There's also not many things you can do to detoxify your lungs, but this will detoxify your lungs in a natural, drug-free, no side effect way. So this therapy has been very popular in Europe as well as the rest of the world. In Australia, they even have salt rooms for horses. Good for animals, good for any being that breathes. Dry salt therapy is good for. In Russia, they have over 1,000 hospitals that have a salt room. And if you go to a doctor in Russia and you're sick, he doesn't give you drugs, he doesn't give you medication. He goes, come back to the salt room and go like 3-4 days in a row. The salt will dry you out, kill the bacteria, you'll be fine. Now, Russia, as well as Europe, the healthcare system is a little more progressive than we are here. It's more based on a socialist society where they want to have preventative health care, or they want their societies to be healthy so they're more productive. Our United States has a healthcare system with, well, many of you are here because of, it's counterproductive. You only get health care if you have a disease. And you only get health care if the FDA has figured out some way with Big Pharma to get research and give them a patent. So Big Pharma doesn't get into vitamins because you can't patent vitamin C. And they won't get into this business either because you can't patent salt. Salt is easy to understand. It's natural. It goes back as long as we've all been alive. And so this is a new methodology to deliver salt into our systems. Now the salt particles at the beach, as I mentioned before, are rather large. So they can go into your sinuses, but the salt never goes into your respiratory system in your lungs. Our micron-sized salt particles in our salt rooms, as a result of the halo generator, the micron-sized particles are able to get deep into the recesses of your lungs, and as a result, while it kills bacteria, while it kills mold spores, it also opens up your airways to breathe. So as part of an ongoing wellness program, and while everyone's an individual, there's no prescribed way how many times you have to go. As an individual, you decide, how is this benefiting me? You know, all of us in natural health have a very high awareness of what our bodies are telling us, and we're very careful to listen to them. And this is the same kind of holistic therapy that you need to listen to your body. If you feel a cold coming on, well, maybe you come 3-4 days in a row. If you have allergies, before allergy season, maybe you come once a week for a couple of weeks. You know, so it's up to you. If you have COPD, God forbid, maybe you need to come 2-3 times a week. Maybe you don't want to have your children taking inhalers when they have asthma and the steroids that they have associated with that. We have children's rooms where we give them buckets and shovels and toys, and they play on the sand and salt just like it's sand at the beach. And so the children have a great time, and then they come back healthier. Here's a picture of the salt bed. Now the salt bed that we have at Breathe Easy offers the same therapy, but a little different. So instead of being in a group environment, or a room, should I say, this is a private experience where it's a private room. You can go in and lock the door, and in this environment, you have the opportunity to help your skin. You have the opportunity to fully disrobe, private, go in the salt bed. This lifts up conveniently, comes back down. So some people have psoriasis, eczema, acne, poison ivy, dry skin. Just like at the Dead Sea, The salt particles here, which are much smaller than the Dead Sea, and as we probably all know, our skin has pores in it, so it seeps in. So in this environment, it helps all skin issues, and we have testimonials to that. And you only need 15 minutes in this salt bed versus 45 minutes in a salt room. This is some of the marketing that we've done to get the word out, because it's just like in this room. If I went upstairs and asked the first 100 people, have you ever heard of the salt room? They would, 99% would say no. And the one person that said yes would probably be wrong. Unless they were from Europe. In the United States, there's only 30 salt rooms in the entire United States. There happens to be 6 of them in Chicago. Well, if you know the demographics of Chicago, there's a big Polish population in Chicago. They brought this therapy from the motherland to Chicago, and they get it. But in New York, we're the only one that's doing it. Why are we doing it? Well, basically, it's anecdotal evidence from myself. As a child, I had allergies all the time. As an adult, I've had 3 nasal surgeries. I fly a lot around the world. In my real job is heading up advertising marketing for Skechers. And a year ago, I was traveling around Europe, and for the last 15 years, I get sinus infections. I'm on Z-Paks 3 to 5 times a year. I was in Europe last year, got another sinus infection before I got to London. I got to fly to LA. Oh my God, I'm at dinner. I asked people, do you have a doctor? I need antibiotics. I got to fly to LA in 4 days. And a woman there said, gee, forget that, go to a salt room. What's a salt room? So she explained to me what I just explained to you, and I'm a little skeptical. I don't know if I should risk that. She says, there's one near your hotel, try it. So the next day I went, 45 minutes, sat in a chair, relaxed, and I could breathe a little better. I wasn't all better. And she said, it's holistic. It's not a magic bullet. You go one time the rest of your life, that's it. So I went the next day in a row, and after that, I could breathe a lot better. And then I flew to LA. I had no earache, no headache, no sinus, nothing. I thought, wow, there was something to that. Now, I started the company with my wife, Ellen, who's a yoga therapist, highly trained yoga teacher, and owns a yoga studio. She's a breathing expert. So I flew down to Florida, met my wife there, and we saw there was a salt room in Delray Beach. So I told her about my experience. We went to go check it out. We bought this introductory package, which we also sell as well. And then for 3 days in the first week, I went. And after the 3rd day, I woke up the next morning. My wife said, you know, you didn't snore last night. Well, how would I know I didn't snore last night? I never know when I snore. And she tells me, because I know in the morning I got this bruise over here in my leg. Stop snoring, okay. So I realized, wow, it stopped me snoring. So I started going on a regular basis, when I was in town, and I did stop snoring, and it stopped my sleep apnea, which was more important, because I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd go to my wife, what? I didn't see you. You woke yourself up, you got sleep apnea. I was in denial I had sleep apnea. Yeah, I got sleep apnea. But anyway, it stopped that. It stopped my snoring. I slept better. I rested better. And I'm 60 years old. I breathe better now than I did when I was in my 20s. And so what happened a year ago? Well, we went from Florida to New York. And I said to my wife jokingly, maybe we should continue this therapy when I go back to New York. Oh, absolutely. We should definitely do that. Well, I Googled salt rooms in New York. None. 0. Oh my God. I'm disappointed. I can't go, honey. Sorry. My wife being, she is. I said, well, it's an interesting business model. Why don't we check it out and bring health and bring the breath of life to New York? Because it's what my wife is. She's the face of wellness. She's in the helping business. So we started Breathe Easy as a helping business. So we're here to help. And as a result of that, towards that end, I'm here to offer everyone a free session. And Simon will hand them out. So come try it. See how you like it, see how it feels for you. If you know people that suffer from any respiratory illness or from any skins or even relaxation, because some people just go there and they get so relaxed. It's New York City. Where do you go to relax in New York City? Nowhere. So they come out to relax, they got to their office, to work better. So we're very excited about this. This is our way of giving back and helping. We currently have 2 locations in Manhattan and 3 locations in Westchester. We're looking to expand more and align with like-minded companies in the healthcare field, like Dr. Pistola, who we're talking about joint ventures about this, and trying to expand as well. So with that, I know I had a brief amount of time. If anyone has one question or two, I'm happy to field that.
2 quick questions.
Yes.
Have you ever been to the Dead Sea in Israel?